बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम एंड वेलकम टू बी माय गेस्ट विद अहमद गोरेजा। क्या हाल चाल हैं आप सब लोगों के? जी हाँ, सीज़न 3 की एक नई एपिसोड में आपकी मुलाकात आज एक ऐसे पर्सनालिटी से करवाएंगे जो कि कम्युनिटी में ही इज़ नॉट जस्ट एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, ही इज़ जस्ट नॉट एन एक्टिविस्ट, बट ही इज़ मोर देन दैट. Yes, we're talking about a politician. This time we have a politician with us in the studio and we'll have you meet with him. His name is Mr. Sheref Sabawy. He's an MPP from Mississauga Erin Mills. Mr. Sheref, welcome on board. Welcome to be my guest.
Thank you, Ahmed. It is an honor to be your guest.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Normally we do this program in Urdu because most of our
Yes.
viewers, they are Urdu speaking, but yes, this program goes all over North America, so people do understand English wisely. But it's an honor to have you on, be my guest.
Thank you very much. It's my honor.
Mr. Sheref, we have seen you in the community. A lot of people first thought you're a community activist, just going here and there and just minging around with all kind of people, whether it's in events, whether it's a dinner, whether it's birthday celebrations, you're always everywhere. So we first thought, he's some community activist just coming in just like anyone else. And then we start recognizing you. Then we start getting to know about you, that mashallah, you are an accredited member of Provincial Parliament from Mississauga Erin Mills. For how long you're here in Canada? What is your journey? People want to know about Mr. Sheref.
Well, again, my name is Sheref Sabawy. I'm from Egyptian origins. I graduated my engineering degree in 1987 from Alexandria University. My wife, Dr. Mary, graduated as a doctor from Alexandria University as well. And we got married, and I was working. I graduated 21 years old, or 21 and a few months. I was so young. So I had the luck to work for about 7 years before I immigrated to Canada. And I reached out to be the regional IT manager Middle East.
Okay.
In an age of 27 almost.
Regional IT manager, was it like government post or like was
No,
it
it's a petroleum company. I was
Okay.
managing 10 offices, and we developed a full integrated system for crude oil tracking.
Wow.
And we were saving millions, hundreds of millions in oil loss control.
Wow. This will be amazing to know about from an engineer to a politician. We're going to listen more about it. But what made you come to Canada?
Well, many reasons. One of the reasons, of course, the future and stuff, but there's other reasons. Like I felt that I reached the top of my career, and I have been having some issues, I would say, with being a minority. So
Okay.
I had to leave the country, and Canada was one of the best countries to raise a family.
When you say minority, is there less Muslims there in Egypt or like what?
No, I am Coptic Christian,
Okay.
so I am a minority. The majority is
Muslims. Yeah, okay. So what year did you actually migrate here?
1987.
1987.
Sorry, 1995.
1995.
Yeah.
So once you married her, you were married before, right?
I was married 1993.
1993. How difficult it was at that time to come to Canada? Was that an easy process or like
Okay, generally, it's a very difficult process. But at the time, because I'm an IT business and I am working for an English company, supposedly, so as all the certificates and experience is very
Okay.
certified. When I applied, they were preparing for year 2000 projects, year 2K. So between I applied and I got accepted is about 11 days.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
11 days.
Yes.
And you're here in Canada.
No, 11 days they accepted the process. Like they
Okay.
first give you a tentative agreement, like okay,
Wow.
and you start going with the full applications, big application.
That's big 1995 that you're talking about.
19. That's before 1995. Like
Okay.
started like 1994, late
Okay.
1994.
So it took you almost a year.
No, it's about 5 months.
5 months.
With that, you have to do a medical check and like special blood tests and stuff.
So, but by education, you're an engineer, and then you got into an IT side.
Yes,
And
I
then-
already did that move. When I was still in university, I was teaching. I was an instructor in
Okay.
one of the teaching colleges, small colleges. So
Okay.
when I finished, I was already in the in the IT business. And I did a postgrad when I finished my bachelor. I did a postgrad 2 years degree in developing systems.
So when you landed to Canada, you wanted to get into the IT field itself, right? And then you started doing some IT job. What was that?
When I first arrived, as any immigrant, the only thing I could get is a Tim Horton job, night shifts. I was baking donuts.
Okay.
And I was doing muffins and stuff and decorating.
That's everyone's story, you know. Everyone's starting from Tim Horton.
You know, I have to say that when I was a student in second year of university, I visited US. I lived about 3 months in New York and New Jersey area to visit and stuff. And I worked in pizza and I worked in other things. So I would say I was mentally prepared for something like that. Okay. Like it wasn't for me like a big shock kind of thing. I know that lots of Middle Eastern and even Pakistani or Egyptians, when they come, they get shocked when, I'm engineer, I can't work in this and stuff. But for me, I was expecting something.
So how difficult it was because, you know, getting into politics, it's a big step in itself, in your family itself, because it's a lot of compromise that you have to do with the family. Yes. And a lot of things that you have to see, especially your job. When you are strengthening your job and when you're doing a job, it's always a difficult decision.
Of course.
So how challenging was that?
I think the biggest challenge at the time, I mean, you can't be a politician, accepted as a politician, unless you are successful. Like if you are not successful, like people wouldn't accept. Like politics is not something you want to, you know what, like I didn't succeed in this. Let me be a politician. That's the people don't accept that. So I think it wasn't in my mind to be a politician. Like my challenge is to go back to my career as an IT guy, which I did. I did struggled until I managed to get into my first job. Is always all the immigrants. I keep saying that, you know, I'm teaching George Brown. I'm IT professor in George Brown and St. Ian colleges. And when I talk to students, I say, first job is the most difficult job because nobody have any reference for you in Canada. They can't ask anybody about you. So the first job is the difficult job. So when you get an opportunity to get a job, take it. Like people say, no, I'm planning to get into this field or that field. You know, IT is very huge.
Just take it. Just take any job.
First job comes.
Get into it.
Take it. Because the first job is the most difficult job. If you got the opportunity,
take some experience.
Take it.
So how did your political career start? Where did you start from?
Well, when I was working, I settled down as back to my IT field. And I was managing HSBC network for Eastern Canada, doing lots of projects. I started getting activated a little bit, trying to understand the system. So I joined here and there, and I attended meetings and to listen, just listening. And then slowly I become a little bit involved, and I become kind of community liaison in a way that, because my relation with the MP office at the time was Caroline Parrish, was my MP, Liberal MP.
Okay.
So by being in
Caroline Parrish, who's actually also going to contest for the mayor of Mississauga as well.
Currently.
That
what I'm talking about is about 20 some years ago.
So 20 years ago, you started to serve in her office as a...
Not serving. I was volunteering in her activities and stuff.
So the journey started there 20 years ago, which...
1998.
1998. So as soon as you come, you get into politics and community work. After 3 years. Okay. Yeah. So there you start from.
Yeah.
And after that?
So it's like community started, because I have a relation. I know the people working in the office as a volunteer. So if somebody have an issue, they become talking to me. I try to help them inside the office, like addressing the issue. So it's a volunteer.
It's like a bridge between people and her, and you were just serving. Okay.
And it started within the Coptic Egyptian community and ended up all the Arab communities.
See, we all do volunteer work.
Of course.
We want to be a part of political system. We spend a lot of hours and time with our MPs, MPPs, our mayors and councillors. But not everyone wants to get into the politics. They want to do as a volunteer. When did you realize, when did you thought that now it's a time that I want to step up? And what was that position that you actually went up to?
When maybe it's around 15 years, maybe.
Okay.
When I actually grown connections and had my network, and I become like known to some extent in the Arab community, in my Egyptian community, and other communities as well. there's one of the MPs picked me and said like you could be you have a special acceptance in the people, and your personality, you are funny, people likes you could be a good politician. And he took me, and I became his outreach in a way that he trains me. I attend sessions. I attended two courses, workshops. One of them was like opening doors for politics, and the other one was like Politics 101, which is like official kind of training to understand the system, the differences and stuff, which is like slowly. I wasn't planning to be an MP at the time. It's just like trying to help me understand the system more. And then opportunity showed up, and of course, this mentor kept saying, "You're ready now. You should take the opportunity."
And that's 15 years ago.
No, that's 2015.
2015.
2015 was the first idea about.
So, what was the first election that you contested?
Actually, it's a liberal nomination for Mississauga Erin Mills against ICRA.
Okay, so you contested as a liberal candidate.
Yes.
And now you're a conservative.
There's a story behind that.
Yeah, that's what I want to listen. But we're going to take a small break.
Yeah.
Okay. But what we do is there's a format in our show that our guest becomes a host for 10 seconds.
Okay.
So this is the camera. Okay. You're going to take a break here.
Okay.
Over to you.
So, Ahmed, tell us, when did you start thinking about being a host in TV?
Okay, that's a long answer.
You have 10 seconds.
Yeah. We'll be right back. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Be My Guest, and I have my honorable guest, MPP Sheref Sabawy from Conservative Party. Yes, we were talking about how did you switch being a candidate from a liberal MPP Mississauga, and now you are a sitting MPP for a conservative.
Yeah, there's like it's like when we ran the nomination was ICRA MP ICRA, and I lost to ICRA. Was like 200.
So that's not a provincial. That was a federal seat, MP.
That's federal.
Okay. That's Mississauga Erin Mills as well.
So and at all those years I was working with liberal MPs and inside the liberal party and stuff. So after the nomination, I thought it's okay. Just stay. I back to the activism and stuff, and that's it. And then somebody contacted me from the Conservatives and said like, we want you to. We are following you, and we want you to run for us.
Okay.
And I said it's very difficult to move, and I can't. I didn't think about it this way, to be honest with you. I didn't believe it. So I said like at the time was Patrick Brown. I said like Patrick should call me if you want me.
Okay.
So all of a sudden like I got a call saying like I'm Patrick.
Oh.
So
like,
we met and
it worked out.
But I hear he said like we want you with us. He didn't mean to put me in there like it's an nomination. So I built it up. And
my question to you is all this time, the last 15 years, you have been working with the liberals, within the liberals, getting to learn about them, getting, empowered from them, worked so hard with them. And at the day end, when you couldn't win that seat, a lot of people says that because of you couldn't get that seat, then you switched to conservative. Was there any principles behind that you chose to go with the conservatives, not with the liberals, because you've spent many years with liberals?
Okay. Let me make things clear. Like everybody is good guys. Like liberals are good guys, we're conservative good guys, green good guys, NDP good guys. They are just having different points of view.
Correct.
They want to achieve the prosperity and success and good the people of Ontario, the goodwill of the people of Ontario or Canada in different ways. From my point of view, I think that's the priority one. From my other point of view, this priority one. So there's no bad guys and good guys. They're all good guys. Saying. It's just like there's different points of view and
the different opinions. Everyone has
different ways to skin the cat. Like everybody, there's many ways to skin the cat. Everyone have his own idea. The other aspect which helped is like the files for provincial were totally different than the files on the federal.
Correct.
And early days, at the time I kind of start activism in politics generally, or in this kind of circles. The liberals were the guys who are good for the immigrants. They are supporting immigrants. It was known, like liberals were good for immigrants at the time. They were more periphered to the immigrants at the time. Now immigrants are become a fact. Like everybody now have acceptance that we are multi-diverse, and we accept each other, and we are building Canada.
Understand. A question. We see a lot of energy in you. You're almost on every event, giving out certificate, acknowledging people. It's one of the symbol of community empowerment. How do you manage to do that? I mean, I see you all the time on most of the events. That's something, it's very much close to my heart that you do all the time. How do you manage to get time for this and this energy?
I think energy is internal thing. There's nothing is like this guy have more energy than this guy. It's all motivation.
Correct.
If you have the motive, you will be doing, you will have lots of energy to do things. Like I tell you, like if I'm working and you are working in the morning, wake up in the morning and you are looking to like approach like, oh my God, that's another day of work. And there's like, I'm tired. You will actually feel that you are totally drained. Now, the same exact day, the same Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever, and you wake up in the morning saying, today I'm going to go fishing or I'm going to do something you like.
Yeah.
You will wake earlier than the clock and you're getting ready and you're like full of energy because you are doing something you like. That's why I keep advising lots of people, especially in the IT, because IT is a very demanding field. You have to study all the time. You have to be on top of things all the time. You have to follow the updates all the time. So it's not for everyone. Like people who think that I finish university, graduate, start working, I don't want to open a book again.
Correct.
Doesn't fit that in IT.
Makes sense.
So I say, if you don't like what you are doing, you will suffer. You will get tortured every day doing long hours of that you don't like. So pick something you like to do so that when you wake up in the morning, you are full of energy. I love to do that.
That's good. That's a good tip. That's a very good tip.
I
wake
like
up with,
to be with people.
Full motivation, and just. Yeah.
I like to be with people. I love being in the middle of the people. I like discussing with the people. I like to mingle with the people. So when I have an event, it's not like, oh my God, we are finishing Parliament at 6. We'll be in Mississauga by 7 after fighting traffic, or 7:30.
That's true.
And there's another an hour and a half of speeches and people talking. No, I actually, when I finish, I'm happy. I need to run. I have that event. I would like that then.
I have a lot of questions to ask you, especially when we talk about politics. What's happening in Ontario? What do we expect? One question, and then we'll just go off from there, is the Highway 413. We have been listening to it for many years, and one of the thing that the Conservative got votes this particular election was 413.
Yes.
What is going on?
Well, 413 is going to happen.
Okay.
We had an obstacle about the environmental study, and that's part of the federal. And I think that was one of the obstacles, but we found some solution around that, and we voted to take it on jurisdiction of like provincial jurisdiction. And we'll full speed ahead. This government is the historical government when it comes to infrastructure and building. We are building highway, we are building hospitals, we are building schools, we are building expansions, we are building houses. We have in Mississauga Erin Mills, we got $51 million to rebuild the South Common Community Center. We are building. We are putting money in infrastructure.
Very good. We'll definitely have a lot of questions about it, and we'll spare some time about it. There will be a long discussion on what's going on in Mississauga Erin Mills and what's going on in Ontario.
Sure.
But once again, Sheref, it's really an honor for me that you're being part of being my guest. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure all the time. Please
Thank you.
reach out to me.
सो इसी तरह हमारे बाकी प्रोग्राम्स भी आप देखते रहिए, इसी तरह आपकी मुलाकात हम और बहुत से पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविस्ट्स और पॉलिटिकल जो एस्टेब्लिश्ड मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्स और मेंबर प्रोविंशियल पार्लियामेंट्स से आपकी मुलाकात कराते रहेंगे। इसी तरह बी माई गेस्ट के अगली एपिसोड में आपसे मुलाकात होगी। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।